What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost and GeeksGamers.com, and it was only a few months ago where the NBA and the Brooklyn Nets decided to try to use Kyrie Irving to send a message. They tried to shame him. They tried to force him into getting the vaccine, and Kyrie Irving refused to bend the knee. They said, well, if you don't get the jab, you're not going to be able to play in Brooklyn because that's the local rules. And Kyrie Irving said, you know what? My principles are more important than that. I'm not going to get the jab. And then, out of spite, they decided, well, you know what? If you're not going to do it, we don't want you around here, period. You're not even going to play in away games, Kyrie Irving. So since the beginning of this NBA season, Kyrie Irving has not been playing for the Brooklyn Nets. Well, all of a sudden, that has changed. And why is that? Well, it's because so many of the fully vaccinated Brooklyn Nets have gotten COVID that they are coming crawling back to Kyrie Irving to ask him for help. Just in, Brooklyn Nets announced that Kyrie Irving will be eligible to return. This is from Outkick. Kyrie Irving's vaccination saga with the Brooklyn Nets finally took a step in the right direction. Announcing Friday, per talks in sources with ESPN's AJ Wojnarowski, the Nets are deciding to bring Kyrie back to the team exclusively for road games after an onslaught of injuries and sit-outs from the NBA's health and safety protocols are leaving the team short on active players. Including on the COVID watch list are 7 Nets players. This is going on in the NFL and the NBA everywhere because these ridiculous testing protocols, even for people that aren't at risk, even for people that aren't showing symptoms, they're still not letting them play, which is insanity at this point, but that's the way it is. James Harden, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeAndre Bembry, Javon Carter, Paul Millsap, James Johnson, and Bruce Brown. Harden and Brown landed in protocols on Tuesday, hours ahead of their matchup against the Raptors. They're expected to be sidelined for 10 days, and of course, they're fully vaxxed. What a shock. Despite failing to comply with New York's mandatory vax ruling, which put Irving at risk of missing all the home games, the general sentiment was that Irving would still be allowed to participate in road games until they decided to make an example of him. Nets are forcing Kyrie Irving to get the jab or sit. This is from Meg Turner, also from Outkick. When the general manager came out, when Joe Tsai came out, the owner, all these people and said, we don't want a part-time player. You either got to be all in with this team or you're not. And Kyrie Irving's being selfish. He's making his own decision, which isn't something we want to be a part of. When he decides to get the jab, he can come back to this team. That's what they tried to say, right? They laid it out here. This is what the general manager said. He's not looking for partners who will be part-time, adding it would not be fair to the group or to Kyrie Irving. Mark said the decision was made by himself and team governor Joe Tsai. The hope is we'll welcome Kyrie Irving back with open arms under different circumstances. Well, the circumstances are different, and you've opened your arms, but I don't think it's for the reason you wanted everyone to think it was. You tried to shame this man. You tried to tell him that the entire team was on your side. They made this decision together. It's funny, you used the team again in explaining why you're bringing him back. The following statement's been released by General Manager Sean Marks. After discussions with their coaches, players, and staff, the organization has decided to have Kyrie Irving rejoin the team for games and practices in which he is eligible to participate. We arrived at this decision with the full support of our players and after careful consideration of our current circumstances, including players missing games due to injuries and health and safety protocols. We believe the addition of Kyrie will not only make us a better team, but allow us to more optimally balance the physical demand of the entire roster. We look forward to Kyrie's return to the lineup, as well as getting our entire roster back together on the court. You act like you didn't try to publicly shame this man into putting something into his body that he didn't want to do. And now here you are, crawling back to him and giving him what he wanted the entire time, to play basketball. Fuck the Brooklyn Nets and fuck the woke NBA. We knew what this was from the start. Kyrie Irving stood his ground. Regardless of whatever thoughts you have about Kyrie Irving, he stood his ground when it came to this for his personal reasons. And now, because a couple people are getting COVID, a couple people are testing positive, now you've come crawling back to him because in reality, you want to win. You want to play this game and win at a high level. That's all you should be worried about instead of all this political pandering garbage. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.